Hello and welcome back to the Craic Heads Podcast, week 10.
Crazy.
With myself, Kegs.
And me, Shannon.
So welcome back, everyone, if you have been listening to us before. And if you're new here, this is the podcast for the gals and for the gays and for anyone who's up for a bit of crack.
Yeah, think of this as like your crazy dysfunctional group chat with your big sister and your big brother.
Woo! So, what's the crack? What's the crack? The crack is the Craic Heads Podcast is all about the crack and it's nothing to do with drugs, okay?
Yeah, that's true. We've had a few people say stuff like this and I'm like, we live in, well, Ireland, Northern Ireland, whatever you want to call it. I say what's the crack to people at least 10 times a day. I thought it would be fairly obvious, but anyway.
Yeah, I thought spelling it C-R-A-I-C is fairly flipping obvious. So it's not a freaking drugs podcast, like.
Yeah.
But anyways, what's the crack with you this week? Fill me in.
For once, usually I come on and I'm like, oh, nothing, just family time, blah, blah, blah. For once, I've been really, really busy.
Nice.
Yeah, I've had loads of exciting things going on this week. I just today released my own box with Bellamy Anta.
Can we get a big round of applause?
It's crazy.
Go,
do you know what's just so, I don't know, I just sit and I get so in my head because I'm like, why has my life went like this? Like in a good way? Like how has this happened? Like I feel nearly like undeserving and then I have to be like, no girl, like everyone deserves happiness. Everyone deserves good things. I don't know. It's crazy to me. Like 2 years ago, I could never imagine I was doing stuff like this. Oh, but yeah. And then also I announced I am doing my own masterclass.
Sold out as well, didn't it?
It sold out in less than 24 hours.
Unreal.
Sculpted by Amy in Victoria Square in June. We've just actually released a second.
Oh, actually?
Yeah, we've released a second time. So it's on the 5th of June, one's at 6 o'clock and one's at 8 o'clock. So the new one's the 8 o'clock one. So it's
oh my God, I must join.
Sale. I know, I'm so excited. And it's so good because whenever they approached me, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm a bit nervous. Like, who the fuck is going to pay to come and listen to me? But they've done it so that like you buy your ticket, it's £30, but then you can redeem it on products.
Okay, yeah.
So like it's basically free. Do you know what I mean? Girl math it.
Amazing.
But yeah, again, another thing that I'm just like, what? Like, how am I doing these things? But yeah, went to the Vava Awards launch party on Friday night.
How was
Brilliant
that?
Crack.
Good crack.
Brilliant crack. Do you know when you just have like a nice wee squad of people? We ended up out in Ollie's. I ended up vomiting. Shock.
So have they announced like the nominations or anything for the winners?
No. It was just like a bit of a party, I think, to get a bit of hype around it. But
Okay,
it was very
sick.
good, very well done. Yeah, and then it was my friend's birthday. I had to do 2 nights in a row. It was my friend's birthday on Saturday.
Very nice.
So I was out with my culty friends.
Culty friends. Where'd you go?
We went to Mulholland's in Castlewellan.
Okay, yeah.
And then we went to Newcastle. We went to the, what do you call it bar? The Donard.
Okay, right, yeah.
So yeah, it was good crack. And yeah, I've been busy this week.
You've been flat out.
Can't complain.
You have been flat to the mat.
Yeah.
Did we hungover at all?
I was a bit hungover when I woke up on Saturday for my friend's birthday, but I pulled myself together.
I'm
Big girl
so
pants
jealous.
on.
Like I can't deal with hangovers. Like
yeah,
it takes-
let's get on to you because you have been crazy kegs this week again. What's going on?
I don't know. I feel like I've been down and down the past few days. Alcohol definitely hasn't helped.
Yeah, I don't even give him sympathy anymore
No.
because he's like, oh, I'm down the dumps. Like, it's really bad. And like, I'm the first person if my friends are down to be comforting. But with kegs, I'm like, self-inflicted.
It is self-inflicted.
You know how to fix it.
It is self-inflicted and I know how to get out of it, but I think I'm just right now I'm not living the life that I want to be
But
living.
don't beat yourself up about it and think like that because you're having good times. Fuck it.
True. I am enjoying myself. I went to Girls' Night twice.
Saying that looked insane.
So what did I do this week? When did we filmed on like a Thursday, didn't we? I was going to go to the Vava Wars and I decided not to because I was going to Dublin the next day. So I went down to Dublin with one of my gals and I recorded something fun with a brand during the day. It was good crack. Then that night we were on the way down. We knew Girls Aloud were playing and we were like listening to them in the car and we're like, frig it, should we just get tickets? So got tickets anyway.
I'm almost raging I didn't go because whenever I was watching people's stories, I was like, I know every single Girls Aloud song, and it looked, the outfits, the choreography, everything looked amazing.
It was so fun, but like I would never have thought of going out of my way to buy a Girls Aloud ticket to go because I didn't think I was that much of a fan. But when I was there, I was like, oh my God, like,
I am such a fan.
Closeted gay 10-year-old kegs with Cahir was fucking in his element. Like I unleashed this gay demon. I was like fucking dancing like so gay and I was just like enjoying every second.
Love
and
it.
I don't know why it felt like I was at freaking a pride event because like I was like
it's a bit like our podcast. it's for the gays and the gals.
For the gays and the gals, yeah. But
like I'd say if I asked my straight boyfriend to go to Girls Aloud, he'd be like, no.
I don't know.
We'd probably love it.
They probably would. I've seen some couples at the one in Belfast, to be fair, but the one in Dublin, I don't know what came over me. I was like, it felt like I was at a Pride event. Like I was like snogging the face off these guys in the middle of the dance floor, Girls Aloud. Like,
was it Girls Aloud? I got a text message from you.
Yeah.
So Keg sent me a text message. I was out for my friend's birthday, and he sent me a photo of one of my friends from Dublin. And let's just say the two of them were causing scenes on the dance floor, having a wee smooch.
Yeah, I was.
How random's that?
No, but it was like, I was like, there's a time and place, because people who like watch the podcast and stuff were coming up to me whilst I'm pure like tongues deep in someone's mouth in the middle of the dance floor. Like, what is wrong with you, kid? I was so very drunk, to be fair.
That's so
Someone
funny.
sent a video to him of us two fucking getting it on in the middle of the dance floor, Girls Aloud, and was like, I can see the sexual tension from here. I'm like, oh my god, I'm mortified.
I'm gonna get him to send me it. That's hilarious.
He doesn't have the video. The girl just sent it on like Snapchat or whatever. But yeah, I went out there, ended up going out that whole night in the George, went to different places, definitely got up to a bit of badness, but I'm not going to share what I got up to in the podcast because I'm not mentally ready to share that right now.
That's a story for another day.
Then I got home, was dying for 2 days straight, literally in my depressed era, and then ended up getting 2 free tickets for the one on Tuesday. So I said to my friend, I was like, should we go again? Was going to go not drink, and then of course ended up steaming in the local gay club again. So I feel like my week has just consisted of going to Girls Aloud twice and then being hungover the rest of it.
I love that. I love that.
So yeah, it was good crack, had fun, but I'm definitely like wanting to live a different life right now, in the sense that I obviously have been
So are you not going to IBA next week?
I might be potentially. I don't know. I've got a big gay festival in London, but I actually think I'm going to sell my tickets.
I love that. I want to live my life. I want to live.
No, it's
You're
not.
not going to IBA
It's not.
then?
It's not to do with like partying. I think it's the fact that I'm not living the life that I want to be living, and then the partying makes it worse. If that makes sense,
because it makes it difficult.
Because I'm at home. I am currently not driving. I am literally living out of my mum's house, and I want my own place. I want my own space. I want my freedom back, and I just I'm all over the place. I'm up and down in the bus all the time, sleeping on my friend's sofa, and I'm just like, I'm not in routine, I'm not exercising, I'm not meditating, I'm not doing anything good for me, and I'm just like, I just need to be back on track.
Zen.
Back on track. But I feel like in the next couple of weeks it's going to be a bit chaotic, but I feel like I can see it in my head, like middle of June, I can see that everything's going to start falling into place.
I'm not even imagining like being calm. Like usually I'm the calm girl. Like now I don't go out a lot, but I just know this time of year, I love it. I thrive. This time last year, I was looking at my memories. This time last year, I was thriving. I don't know. This month is always. This was the month before I went to Australia.
Yes, that's right. Because you had loads of things.
And this time last year, I was thriving. And I remember a few months ago, I was getting a bit down because I was like, I just feel like I was just like loving life so much more this time last year. And then like the past few weeks, I'm like, hold on. We're getting back in the swing of things. Summer's happening. So much going on.
June's hectic. There's so much happening.
Yeah, I just know I'm buzzing for ABA. I am buzzing for ABA. I'm buzzing for Ben Nicky. And we were talking about this last week. And I'm confirmed I am actually going to Ibiza now as well in June.
Sick.
Which means I can't go to Belters only. But
I might come with you.
Yeah.
To be fair, hear me. I'm not. I don't want to party loads, and I'm like literally going to be out every week. It's my friend's birthday this weekend, like tomorrow, and I haven't even packed stuff to come up because I'm like forced myself to go home because I don't want to go near it. But yeah, there's so much going on, and you're doing like a talk on the 5th. I'm doing like an event in Castlecourt on the 6th.
Oh no way!
For healthy hair. So Olivia McVeigh's going to be there, and Denise from Voodoo. And I think I'm going to be there as well for people asking questions on like my hair journey and stuff. So that's on the 6th of June.
Very good.
And like you said, tickets are a tenner for ours, and you get it back on products and stuff too. So yeah,
busy. We love it. I love summer. But yeah, so that's the crack with us this week.
That's the crack.
We move on to our next segment.
Let's do it, and it's your turn this week. So tell us your crack.
So I was having a wee think there. Obviously, we need to just accept that my stories are never going to be as crazy as Kegs. That one last week. But yeah, I thought I have a bit of a funny story that kind of shows the dangers of alcohol.
Yeah.
Is what it shows. I'm going to be honest. So 21-year-old Shannon decides that she's going to go to Vegas. My friend was living in Vegas for a year as like a placement kind of year, so she knew like ways about Vegas and where to go and where it was hot and where it was not and blah 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 blah. So I'm so excited for this trip to Vegas, so excited. And I think I'm like 4 days in maybe, and in Vegas basically it's like Ibiza on steroids. You've never been to Vegas, have you?
No, never.
Ibiza on steroids. I'm
Really?
not joking. It is insane. Like the super clubs, crazy. So
Is it as good as Ibiza though?
yeah, it's
like the
amazing.
parties?
It's amazing.
I don't know why. Maybe you remember you said you had like a negative perception of Ibiza.
Yeah.
I think I've got a negative perception of
I think
Vegas.
maybe people think of Vegas as being just like
Tacky.
parties and tacky.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's incredible. So there's definitely tackiness to it, but I love a bit of tack.
Okay, you do, yeah.
So the way it works is you go to like it's like pre-drinks in the first nightclub, but this first nightclub is already like an insane, massive, crazy nightclub.
Yeah.
And like the night I went, I think Cheat Codes was performing, and then that was like the first part, and then at I think like 2:00 in the morning you go to the main nightclub. Your promoter brings you over to the main part.
Okay,
so the
yeah.
main night only starts at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it was like chain smokers or something playing. We are hammered. Girls don't really pay for drinks in Vegas.
It's the same in Miami. I used to live in Miami and it was the same.
It's
like
to get more girls into the bar than boys. They want the ratio to be like
girls
so that if a boy
get
looks
everything for free. It's
Yeah.
nuts because when I lived in Miami, sorry to interrupt you. I lived in Miami. It really pissed me off. The girls I was with got everything free, and I'm obviously the gay guy with all the girls. So I'd rock up to the clubs. Girls would get like VIP, free entry, free drinks. Here's me rocking up $200, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm gonna be a girl.
literally, you pay for nothing. You literally walk into a bar and they'll just give you a wristband and be like, that's for your free drinks. And as I say, it's to get the ratio that there's more girls than boys, because then if a boy looks at the club or whatever, looks at photos, they're like, I want to go there, there's loads of girls.
Yeah.
So it's not even like just good looking girls. Like I got to go, like everyone got to go. Do you know?
What do you
like,
mean I got to go?
no, but it's not like, you know, like you don't have to be. I think of like Miami and stuff. I'm like Alex Earl and all, like they get, but it's not like that in Vegas. Like if you're a girl, you get everything free.
Okay, right.
So we are loaded. Absolutely.
Who you with, sorry?
My friend Kizzy. She's
Okay.
from Dublin. Absolutely loaded. And all I remember is going home to bed, to be honest. And I wake up the next morning and I have cling film on my finger. And I was like, Kizzy, what is that? And she was like, oh, Shannon. Oh, honey. And I was like, tell me. And she was like, it's a tattoo. And I was like, what, like a henna tattoo? And she was like, no,
Shut
as in
up.
like ink in your hand tattoo. And I was like, holy shit, what is it? Because I then took it off and I went, I'll show you in a second. And if you're listening, I'll describe it in a second. What is that on my finger engraved permanently? And she was like, so the story goes, we were walking through a hotel and there was a tattoo parlor, and I'm like, let's go get tattoos.
Oh my
What?
God.
And whenever I get in, the tattoo artist is like, so what do you want? I was like, I don't know, like what kind of things do people get when they're in this tattoo parlor in Vegas? You know, is there anything, you know, I want it to be memorable. Why did I want a memorable tattoo at this hotel? Who knows?
Of the hotel?
So the guy goes to tell me, oh, well, Elvis used to live in this hotel. Now, I do like Elvis, don't get me wrong, I like a bit of, but apparently I'm like, oh my God, I love Elvis. I want an Elvis tattoo. So what is on my hand now is currently, it's a lightning bolt that says TCB on it, which apparently stands for taking care of business, which was Elvis's logo. Let me just show the camera.
Oh my God. Let me see.
It's horrible.
Wait, I can't even see the writing.
Yeah, it's all like ink has fell out of it, everything. And I was like, oh my God, I know I have something practically meaningless to me on my finger for the rest of my life. But it gets funnier because then my friend Kizzy was like, well, you think you're bad? I put a $500. Forgot a thing. Sorry. Minimum charge for tattoos in the place was like $300. So I paid like $300 for this as well.
Shut up.
My friend Kizzy was like, could be worse. I put down a $500 non-refundable deposit while we were there, and I have to go today and get a back piece.
Did she get it?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Hers actually wasn't bad though. She got like a palm tree thing.
Where'd she get it?
On her back.
Oh my God.
So
That it doesn't look that bad, to be
I
fair.
actually tried to get laser for it. But the place that I was booked in for, they were like, oh yeah, you don't do sunbeds and all. And I was like, yeah, not anymore. I haven't done them in like over a year. And they were like, perfect. Didn't say anything else. The day before my appointment, they texted me and was like, just checking you haven't had fake tan on in the last 6 weeks.
You're not allowed to wear fake tan now.
And I was like, 6 weeks? I was like, course I have. I'm a pale bitch. Of course I've had fake tan on in the past 6 weeks. So then they had to cancel it. And I was like, to be honest, It's a part of me now.
It's not too bad. I have some that are a part of me.
It's so hidden. People don't notice it. And the only thing that I tell myself now is my nanny that passed away is such a big Elvis fan. I'm like, that's
cute.
for you, nanny.
Yeah, okay, cute.
Not because I was absolutely steaming in Vegas.
I've got a few drunk tattoos as well. Should I just tell the story?
But you've loads of tattoos.
I have loads of tattoos, but these were my first two, and they're in private places, so you can't really see them in the public eye. But one of them is a really bad story. Should I tell it?
Okay, go.
Fuck it. So, my first season in Napa, I'm 18 years of age, and I love how whenever we tell a story each week, one of us has a story similar, and then we're like, oh, let's just tell that as well. So I'm 18, just left school, first time getting away from home. I was going crazy. I was getting drunk for breakfast, lunch, and flipping dinner. Like, I was off the rails. And there was a tattoo place beside my accommodation, basically, and beside where I worked as well. And everyone always got like drunk tattoos and all. One night I woke up the next morning and I had a fucking panda on my arse, like a panda tattoo. Don't know why I got it. Don't know what happened. Just seems somehow I got a panda tattoo. But anyway, then one night, so before I went to Napa, I had started seeing a guy at home who was like my ex-boyfriend now, like, but this was like years and years and years ago. And we were seeing each other at home, and then I went to Napa for the summer, but I was in Napa living my single best life, but I was still talking to my guy at home, and I thought I was obviously a child. I thought I was in love with this guy.
You didn't get his
like,
initials or something?
No, I got his fucking name tattooed on my thigh when I was steaming one night. Sent him a photo of it, so it was his initials. Like, I'm not gonna say his initials, fucking hell, I was about to say his initials, but it was his initials, but he's got like 3 initials, so it's evident it was him. He pure loved it, blah blah blah. We fucking break up, like fully, like stop speaking.
Yeah, well, you were gonna break up. Like, you should have known this. You literally, if you loved him that much, you wouldn't have went to Napa and lived your single life.
I was a fucking child.
But you must have thought in your head, which is so funny. You must have been like, right, yeah, I'm in Napa living my single life, but like my guy at home, like, he'll not forget me if I get his name.
Yeah, no,
that's what you 100%. Were thinking.
He went right. He was in a bar whenever I sent in, and he was telling me, he went around and showed everyone at the bar that I got his name tattooed
I'm
at my leg.
for you.
But it was so bad.
Is it still there?
Oh no! So basically, what happened was, that ended up being like the most toxic relationship ever. Like, we ended up like not getting on at all. I still think he hates me to this day. But yeah, I've actually got stories of that. We'll not get into it. So I had it on me for ages, and obviously I'm an 18-year-old with no money to my name, skint as fright, can't afford tattoos. So when I get home, we break up or whatever, I start seeing other people, and I'm like, I need to get this fucking boy's name covered up off my flipping leg. Like, boys are gonna be like, who is that?
Yeah.
So I seen on Facebook, I think there was, do you ever hear of Friday the 13th tattoos, where tattoo parlors give £13 tattoos?
£13, yeah, my sister gets them.
Yeah, so me and my friend went to this fucking tattoo place and got like a £13 tattoo, but the only one big enough to cover his name was this like rose that said that had 13 on it. So I got that.
It's better than his initials.
Better than his initials, but it's still so tacky. I forget it's there sometimes, and then I look and I'm like, oh,
that's like me with this, and people will be like, oh, what's your tattoo? And I'm like, nothing. It's nothing. Please just don't look at that.
Yeah, that freaked out. But yeah, I got
I'm
it
just
covered
so
up.
glad though. Like, you're so many girls, like people I was friends with. Whenever I was like 18, I had like a group of friends that all went to Magaluf. Or no, I was 17. They were older, and like I wouldn't have went anyway. But I was too young, and like they all came back with like tattoos on their bum of boys' names they met out there, and like obviously now they're in relationships and all, and I'm like, I always wondered, is the tattoo still there? Did they get that removed? Did they get that covered? I've loads of friends with tattoos that got tattoos of like boys' names on holidays, and I'm like, what's going on with them? You kind of forget they're there, and you're like, do you still have that?
It's like Frankie Coates. Remember, he won an X Factor and he got famous because he put his bum out on stage and he had like 20 girls. And I used to fancy him so much.
I think I fancied him too. He was a bit like
cool. He walked past me in Sydney when I was there last year, and I was like, oh my god, that's Frankie.
Do you know who I used to fancy so much? And I actually like met him loads of times.
Owen Craic.
Sometimes used to DM with him.
Owen Craic.
No, do you remember Luke Friend with the dreadlocks?
No.
Do you not remember him? I'll show you
no.
later. Luke Friend. I think he was on the year. I don't know what year he was on. I can't remember what year he was on, but yeah, like I went to his hotel to meet him and all when they were doing like the X Factor tour. I loved him. I bet you no one's even going to remember who he is, but if I posted a photo,
probably know his face.
Put a photo on the YouTube version of this, because you'll recognize him. He had like dreadlocks, and I loved him. Like, really? I was like, we're gonna get married.
I fancy George Shelley as well. I think I spoke about that in the podcast before. I copied his hairstyle for years, which probably made my hair all fall out because I literally destroyed my hair with the way he done his hair.
That's hilarious.
He's gay now as well. I already spoke about this in that episode we done last week. Right, let's move on to the next topic. So this week, so we're doing 2 recordings this week because we've got a big week ahead of us next week with different events and stuff. So we're gonna do part 2 of the life of an influencer episode because there was loads more questions.
And we spent so long doing that episode, but we didn't even get through half the questions. So
yeah, Shannon's got all the questions there this week, and then we've got guests on. We've got 2 guests on for next week's episode, so we will have them in a wee second.
Okay. Any influencers you don't like?
That I don't like? Yeah.
Are you going to tell stories or no?
I don't want to say names.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Right, so I think I spoke about this one before where there was a girl who's like an influencer and I was friends with her before, and then she just thinks she's famous, blah, blah, blah. But there's a big influencer in the UK. Like everyone will probably know him. He's a gay, I'm not going to say how much more, but he's a gay creator. He's from like England. And
have you personally met him?
Never met this man in my life.
Okay.
And I'm friends with his friends. Like I've literally been with his friends many times.
Get, like,
different
rude
events.
Vibes, or?
I've never met him, but I don't know what the fuck his problem is with me, but he's blocked me off everything and it really triggers me. I'm like, what have I done to this man?
So you're like, I hate you because you hate me?
Yeah, well, I don't hate him, like, but I'm just like, he triggers me when I see him. I'm like, why the fuck is this boy blocked me? I'm like, but then as well, because I've hung around with people who's like really close to him, and like we've like followed each other and stuff, and then I feel like when he's with them, he like makes them like remove me or something, because then they remove me too. I'm like, what is his problem?
Weird.
But I'm not going to say which works, I can't be giving names or whatever, but he's the one I can think of. There's a Love Islander who I've met that I was like, oh my god, you actually are a bit tapped in the head. Like she's like definitely thinks she's better than everyone else too.
Yeah. Influencers you don't like. So there's one person that technically they did start as an influencer. I might just say the name, it doesn't really matter anymore. This is like years and years ago when my sister done social media. She was in a relationship with a guy. Yeah. And he started as like a TikTok, well, Musically it was, and like YouTube and stuff, but he also does music. Oh,
I know who you're on about.
Yeah, he's horrible. He's a piece of work, and his manager's also a piece of work. I look back now and I'm like, wow, the things that man, the manager, said to my sister when she was literally like 15,
really,
is vile. And the way that he treated her, but I kind of feel bad saying it because I actually think he was maybe a good guy and he was being manipulated by his manager to be a bad guy. But he was so horrible to my sister and cheated on her, treated her like shit, just a social climber, just not nice at all.
Begin with H?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really not a nice guy. I would say he does probably have... he came across so lovely, so that's why I like to think he probably is nice, but he just had a really bad manager who liked to brag that he used to be in a boy band and probably has like kids all over the UK because of how many girls he slept with when he was in a boy band and blah blah blah. So I have a really bad taste in my mouth about him. Every time he comes up on my For You page or something, I'm like, I hope you've changed. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, and it was just a bad situation.
People do change as well. Do fair to people grow.
Yeah, he wasn't nice. I think we're very lucky in Northern Ireland that, like, honestly, I love everyone that does social media. I really do.
Everyone?
There's one person that I've just a bad vibe about. And like loads, I'm not going to say who, but like it's so funny because so many people, I would never talk about it, but then other people say to me and I'm like, wow, that's the same person that I'm like funny about. So there must be a reason that everyone is thinking the same thing. Yeah. I'm not going to give too much away. I just get the vibe that this person is very, again, it's that social climber vibe, like only wants to be friends with people because of who they are, where they can get them, because they want to get bigger. And I just don't like that. I just can't trust someone like that.
100%.
So that's why there is one person, and that's it. Everyone else I love. There's just that one person that I'm like, I have a bad vibe, and I have seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. Yeah. And other people have came to me and said their experiences with this person, of them like completely blanking them and stuff like that. But we'll speak to other people they're with. So then people are like, have I not got enough followers for you to talk to me, or what's the issue?
No, I know what you're on about. Yeah.
So yeah.
I feel like with me, I feel like there's no one that I don't like. but there's definitely people that I would get bad vibes off. But I think I'd say 95% of people who do this job are sound and just normal people
I love
being
everyone,
sound.
to be fair.
Do you know what I mean?
really do. Okay, let's see. How do you be so consistent, or do you block, record, or schedule?
So with me, I go through waves, as in like I've said at the start of this episode, I've not been myself recently, and I've been saying that for the past couple of weeks. So like my content has definitely been slipping. Like that's when I'm not living the life that I want, because I can see my potential. I can see I know the direction that I want my content to go in, and I know the consistency I need to do, and know all that there, but I'm not doing it, which is why I'm not living the life that I essentially want to be living right now. But when I am in flow, when I am feeling myself, when I am feeling good, I would try and just make a video every day.
Yeah.
Like you have to try and be consistent. You're very good at it, to be fair. Like when you were popping off, I think as well, when I first started popping off, I was making loads and loads and loads of videos a day. I was more consistency over was it quantity over quality? But then I got to a point where I wanted to make quality over quantity. But now I'm trying to get back into quantity over quality again.
Yeah.
In a sense.
I just think, honestly, if you love what you do, you will be consistent without trying.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I go through bad stages my thing is, if I don't feel like posting, I don't force myself to post, which I know a lot of people do. They want at least one video a day. But if something doesn't come natural to me, I will not force myself to post. So I know there are people that sit and they like plan their videos and stuff like that, and they plan what they're going to do for the day. And I think maybe if you're like specifically a makeup creator or something like that, then you can plan, I'm going to do this. I don't really, because I am kind of just a mixture of everything.
Same as me.
Whatever comes to my mind in that second, I will do it. And if I feel like posting, I will.
So with myself as well, when you touch on that, you're a variation of different things. I'm the same. My content's a bit all over the place, and that's what I'm like as well. I'm like, I don't know what direction I'm going in, because I feel like there is so many different versions of me, and there's so many different directions I can go in with my content. But whenever I have an idea for a video, or if I have like a thing, I'm like, oh, that would be a good video. I have my notes section on my phone, and I have new TikTok. So I have like a list on my phone of like loads of different ideas that I want to create in the future. Yeah. And then I have also got a time blocking book, which, like I said, I've not been using much the past few weeks. But when I am in consistent flow, I have a time blocking book where I would write out all the different maybe videos I want to do that week, and then I would set a time to make that video throughout the week and
You're
stuff
quite
like that.
organised that way. I really am. Literally, if I want to record something, I'll set up my camera and do it. Don't get me wrong, brand deals and stuff, I will plan when I'm going to record them, because you know what brands are like. They want to post it on that day, and they want it sent over at this time, and blah blah blah. So I do pre-plan that, but my organic content, I just go with it. And even like back when I was working full time, I could not wait to get home from work to start recording. Like I used to literally sit from I got home to work from 9 o'clock at night, but I never put pressure on. You have to make these videos. It was because I wanted to do it, and then it's organic and it's easy. So
I'm the same. Like I love doing it. Do you know what I mean?
But I think it's important, just don't put the pressure on, because you see so many videos that are like consistency, that's how you grow, and that is true. But if you are finding it difficult to be consistent, then you maybe need to change something.
Consistency definitely helps. Like I noticed with my engagement recently, because like I said, I've not been posted. I keep saying that loads of times, but like I haven't been on top of it as I have been, and I've noticed my engagement, everything's been going downwards. But when I do notice, when I am making consistent good content every single day, my engagement then does shoot up. So definitely flipping helps. But also you need to put yourself first. If you aren't feeling it, if you aren't feeling good in yourself, do not force yourself to do something, because you'll end up hating it. Like I remember when I finished it with that guy I was seeing last summer, I wasn't making any content. I felt like shit. And I went to Ibiza, and I made about 4 videos the full fucking time I was there. And I was like, you know what? I'm having a time of my life. I'm enjoying myself, and I'm giving myself this break right now. I'll get back on it when I get back home. So
I feel you. So what job did you do before this job?
Oh my God, I had about 500 jobs. So flipping hell, we could do a full podcast on this. I'll do it quickly brief. So
just a rundown.
When I've literally started working and making money as soon as I turned 16, because I wanted like freedom to be able to support myself. So I worked in River Island, Argos, and Sally's nightclub when I was doing my A-levels all at the same time. So I was flat out working then. Then I went and worked in Deloitte, which if you've been following me or listening to me before, you know that didn't turn out great, but I was like for the better. And then I've been basically I've worked in random places at home as well. Like I worked in As the Butchers for a bit just to get a bit of money to go traveling. I worked in call centers for a couple of weeks to get a bit of money to go traveling. But then when I've been traveling, I've worked on like cruise ships, I've worked in like nightclubs and pool parties and ski resorts, and I've worked in like different places across the world and like the hospitality industry, like nightclubs and shit like that. And then I've just been making money online for the past couple of years now.
That's so funny because my answer is practically every job apart from hospitality.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only job I never worked in. So I started working when I was 13, completely illegal.
Fuck it.
Cash in hand in a hairdresser's, helping out on a Saturday, then upped it to Saturday and Thursday night. And then when I turned 16, I started working for Belfast City Council as like a receptionist. Brilliant job. Absolutely loved it. That was while I was in tech. Then I worked as a makeup artist. I done freelance and worked as a makeup artist in Victoria Square. I worked as a support worker, both doing care in the community, so like going to people's houses and like older people. And then I worked as a support worker in like a special needs mental health unit.
Yeah.
And then I worked doing like front of house in a beauty salon, doing like social media and stuff like that. And that's where like my love for social media kind of came back, because in the middle of all this, I managed my sister as well. She done social media. I was her manager. So working in the hairdressers kind of brought my love back for social media. And then right before I started this, I was working for a year as an estate agent.
Nice.
Yeah, and I started social media while working as an estate agent.
Yeah.
So then I dropped my hours down to part-time and then transitioned to doing this full-time.
Class.
Yeah.
Love that. I was thinking recently, I'm like, if I have to apply for a job, I wonder how long my CV is going to be.
Yeah.
Like I have about 5 million things to put on there.
Things. Is it hard on relationships doing social media?
So with me, yours is going to be different than mine because we've completely different relationship experiences. With me, I would say I haven't had like a full-on boyfriend in the social media world to know, but I have been seeing two different people whilst doing social media, and I definitely think one of them was a toxic flipping mental case, and he made it really difficult. Like he made me feel like everything I was doing was embarrassing, like he was full-on narcissist. Then the other guy, I don't know if it had an effect or not, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think what I've noticed is if I start seeing someone, because they may know me from social media, they will pretend to be maybe something that they know I would like because of what I post on my social media. I've had that a few times where guys have been like, oh, I'm like really into yoga, or like, oh, I love... And
they're not, but they know that you like it because they watch your social media.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I have noticed that's happened a few times, but...
I think because I was seeing my boyfriend before I started social media, and he was living in Australia when I started it. So I think it depends on the person. My boyfriend's so supportive of me doing social media. Like he is literally, he says to me all the time, like, what can I do to help you? Like, what can I do to help you? And he's like proud of me for doing it, but he never like experienced it until I moved to Australia. And I was kind of like, I wonder how he's going to react to like me videoing in the house and me videoing things. He's so fine. Like he's not like big into it himself. Like he'll be in a video, but he'll not like stand in the camera and talk or anything. He doesn't mind if he's like in the background. But then from we've came home and it's been a bit more full on, he's still totally fine with it. He's
That's
just
cool.
like, but it would depend on the person, because I would say if I look at other people I've maybe seen in the past or had things with, I'm like, yeah, they would not like me doing that.
Yeah.
It depends on the person, if they're comfortable in your relationship as well, because there's a lot of guys out there that if you were doing social media, you know what some guys can be like, they would probably have something to say about it, as in they'd maybe be like, oh, why are you posting photos and videos and stuff? And, do you know what I mean? But I think that's a security thing.
There has been people I've been speaking to in the past who have like removed me off social media since I started doing it as well.
Really?
So definitely. But you know what? It weeds people out who isn't right for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, dating life, I don't really know.
Not sure. Maybe just the thing
I also have seen people who have made their relationships very public, and it's backfired.
Kind of the next question. Yeah, that's very common.
What's the next question?
Is there anything you keep private, or do you show everything?
Oh, I don't show everything, no.
No, me either. Now, don't get me wrong. I share a lot, but it's only what I'm willing to share on social media.
Yeah.
And even sometimes if something's happened, I'll not share it. But then when I feel comfortable to talk about it and I feel like maybe my followers could learn from something from it, or I could give advice from it, then I'll talk about it when I've overcame it. Does that make sense?
Chewing gum in the wrong part there. I don't know why I was eating more chewing gum. I was like, I don't need any more. But yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, once I'm over it. But I think if I'm in the middle of something and I'm dealing with something, I would never come to social media with it.
I don't think there's any single person who does social media that shares absolutely everything, is there? There might be, like, but I don't know if there is.
Yeah.
Like, me personally, you know what? I would share everything on social media, but like a lot of it goes to my close friends. My close friends, we get to see everything. But there's like, do you know Summer Fox on who does TikTok? So she used to my close friends, and she messaged me and she was like, if you literally shared your close friends, you would have 1 million followers.
Yeah. So
but I'm
funny.
like, it's so unhinged. I'm just afraid.
You need to still live the rest of your life also.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So
That's always in the back of your head.
I don't know. I feel like I would like to be that person that shares absolutely every unhinged thing. But then again, relationships. So I'm thinking I can't share this stuff because my future husband might see it and never want to be with me. Do you know what I mean?
I
might put every man off for the rest of their lives. So I think that probably is the reason that I don't share all that stuff.
Probably
because of maybe future husbands.
Yeah, they're going to.
Because I want a husband, and like if that's all in the internet.
If they seen your private story, they'd not want you.
No,
I'm joking.
They probably wouldn't.
Worst hate comment. The reason that I'm reading that, did you see my video last night?
Don't know.
I'm very, very lucky. Very, very lucky. I feel like you'll have a few stories here because I know you've been threatened and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky. I don't get a lot. I get the odd one each day, like just someone being like, you're a melter, or you're this or you're that, and I'm like, whatever. I've heard it all before. I know I'm a melter. But the past few days, I was just going to completely ignore it. I'm assuming it's the same person because of the wording of the comments. I'm nearly sure. And I've now had other creators message me saying the same thing's been happening, same kind of comments and blah, blah. So I think it's a solo culprit. But probably the last week, I just keep getting the most horrible comments about my weight.
Really?
And it's about, I've put on a little bit of weight. I know better than anyone what weight I am. Do you know what I mean? I know my body. I'm totally fine with it. I'm healthy. That's all that matters. But the way they're saying it isn't even just like, oh, you've put on a bit of weight. Why did you lose all that flubber just to put it all back on again? Let me guess, you're definitely pushing 16 stone again. Yeah, and this is, bearing in mind some of these videos are me. One of the videos was me talking about my volunteering I do. And these comments about like how fat I am basically. And the thing is, it doesn't affect me at all because I know I'm not fat. I have been a size 20. Do you know what I mean? Like I know I'm not fat. But my concern was I was just deleting, blocking, whatever. But there was sometimes I wasn't seeing the comments very quickly, and it would maybe up for like a couple hours or even a couple days before I deleted it. And all I could think was my impressionable younger followers who maybe are watching my video, click in the comments and see that and go, but hold on, Shannon's the same size as me. So yeah, if people's calling her fat, does that mean I'm fat? And that's all I could think about. So last night, whenever I deleted one of the comments, I would never reply to them or give them like the time of day. I wanted more to talk to my followers and be like, if you've seen these comments, just know it's not true. Like, I'm not fat. And at the end of the day, even if I was, that person is a sado. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there was actually a girl commented saying that she had seen a few of the comments and she'd reported them and stuff because she couldn't get over that someone had commented these things. But yeah, disgusting.
That's fucking rotten. And like, there's so much people that could really, really struggle with that.
That could really trigger people, even though it's not sent directly to them. Mm-hmm. Thank God it's like I'm fine with it, but it's other people that could see that and go, oh my goodness, like, or even like there was a girl saying like, if you're fat, then what am I? As in like, she obviously is saying that she's slightly bigger than me or bigger than me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even if you're bigger than me, like, it doesn't matter. Ignore these comments. This is just someone that's clearly got issues.
Unhappy with themselves.
Yeah.
Like probably just, I hate people like that.
So bad.
My worst hate comments, I don't really know. I feel like throughout the years I've had many. Yeah. I don't know. I think I used to get it way, 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 way worse, to be fair. And I don't really look at hate comments anymore.
You're always going to get homophobic comments,
always.
But that's just, you probably don't even.
The homophobic like comments, I don't even. I literally don't pay attention to those.
Yeah.
I think
that's like me when someone's like, you're a melter, and I'm like,
fair.
I know. I know. It's like Jerry said in our podcast, like, if you think like if you think I'm annoying, like imagine living in this brain. That is the definite. He hit the nail on the head.
I definitely used to get it way worse, but I look back at the content that I used to make when I was first starting out, and that I used to get loads of hate on, and I'm like, fucking any wonder fucking state of the content you're making. I'm actually giving myself the ick, like I want to projectile vomit in a fucking bucket watching myself from 3 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like, give me all the hate you need back then. But now I don't know. There was one recently where I was posting trans rights or human rights as we all freaking as they are. Do you know what I mean? Someone I went to school with basically started going in on me, basically saying that I'm the problem with this world. The reason people are
trans. Someone you went to school with.
Someone I went to school with, like I knew him from years ago. Messaged me and was like, "You're the problem with the world. The reason that guys pretend to be girls," I'm putting in quotation marks because these aren't my words, is because they can perv on girls in the changing rooms. And I was like, sorry, are you fucking stupid? Like, what the fuck? So I was kind of ignoring it, but then I posted it on my close friend story, and a guy on my close friend story who would like kind of be, I don't know, but it triggered him really badly, so he started going mad at the guy, and I started this big massive fight, but I was just ignoring the drama because I was in Ibiza. Then I started getting threats. I'm like, if I see you back at home, I'm going to smash your fucking face in and all this here. And I'm like, what the fuck? But I walked past that guy twice in Belfast a couple of weeks ago.
Nothing.
First time he walked past me, I didn't realise it was him until after. Second time, walked past me, but it was a time where I couldn't avoid him. So I just kind of looked at him, seeing was he going to do anything. And he sort of just like nodded at me and smiled as if he was my friend. And I was like, you're fucking stupid, mate.
What a weirdo.
But that's one of the most recent ones. Throughout the years, I've got loads, but whatever is what it is. I think it's helped me grow as a person. Hate comments has definitely helped me grow as a person for sure.
Builds character.
Builds character.
Let's see. There's still so many.
I
feel like is it worth it? There's like the best and worst things come about the job. I feel like it's fairly obvious. Like the worst things, obviously, the shit
pros and cons. Let's do that one. The pros and cons.
So the question goes: is it worth it? Is there anything you wish didn't come with having this job? Best and worst thing about the job?
Best and worst. We'll start off with the worst. Worst, clearly, haters, trolls, that sort of vibe. Maybe anything worst.
I would say sometimes, although I'm not complaining and I never will because I'm internally grateful that there's like a lot of free time comes with the job, you know, like random bits of time. Sometimes there can be a lot of pressure from brands to get things done on time, but that comes with every job. Yeah. Like that's not unique to this. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes like I can feel like I'll have like no work for a couple of days and then all of a sudden everything needs to be done and I'm like, what? How does this happen? But that's just common. That's just
it's very like the timings are very off and it's very inconsistent all the time. Like I had a brand that was back and forth, kept in line for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then by the time
they wanted it done that day.
They wanted it done like that day. I was like, oh my god, you've literally delayed this for months. I could have done this any other time. But yeah, that's probably one of them. But it doesn't really affect me that much. I would say maybe this job that gives you maybe fear for the future. In a sense.
Oh, well, to be fair, there's another question there that's about how do you feel about it being a short-lived career? Like,
I was getting my hair cut earlier and my barber was like, so like, what are you going to do? Like, what's your plans? Like, where do you see yourself ending up? And I'm like, I don't really know. I don't really have anything to fall back on. Yeah. I'm kind of just going with the flow. I'm riding the wave. I can see it going in different directions. Like one direction could be like presenting or like podcasting, like whatever, that sort of thing, like entertaining. But then also I was thinking I like the spirituality mindset sort of direction. I would love to maybe go that route either. Yeah. But I could go in any direction. And there. You know what it does though? It gives you the freedom to figure that out. Mm-hmm. Like right now we don't work for anyone else apart from ourselves, and we have the freedom to maybe try and figure out more who we are and figure out what direction we want to go in. Yeah. And we can do that, but it does give you a bit of fear for the future.
See, I don't panic at all about, and I'm not just saying this to be like, I don't care about the future. I obviously care about the future, but I think the reason I don't care, if I never started social media, I would still be working probably as an estate agent. Yeah. So if everything failed tomorrow, I'll just go back to doing that.
100%.
So it's not, I don't really fear for the future because I'm just like, well, I can just go back to what I was doing before. But if anything, now I've maybe got like more options. Like, you know, I already thought about like different maybe business ventures I could take. Yeah. That are like not even really even slightly related to social media, or like everyone goes down the road of like bringing out products and stuff. It's nothing like that. But social media will definitely help me do these things. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know. Really panic about it.
I feel like I don't really have that much of a fear a lot of time. Like I don't really think about it that much. I'm kind of just going with the flow. But there has been times recently where I've been like, I wouldn't mind having something, if that makes sense. But I'll figure it out. I always do.
You'll figure it out. Okay, we'll do one more.
We didn't do the pros of social media.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
So that was pros and cons.
I would say the main pro is
freedom.
You've got quite a bit of freedom.
Yeah.
As in, yes, you can be really busy, but at the end of the day, you can always just say, look, cancel that thing. It's never that much of a stress. Obviously, you want to do the work to keep the relationship, but you're in control. That's definitely, and the creativity, like, I just love that my job is doing something that I love. Making videos, editing videos. I love that as well. Like
in school, my favorite things to do was like creating videos and like designing websites and things like that. That's what lit me up. That and personal development, which all kind of intertwines to what I do now anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like I love all that sort of stuff. So like I said, it's sort of creativity. As far as creativity, I'm riddled with ADHD, so working for other people may not be a good thing. So I've sort of can work for myself, do my own thing. But that can also be a negative as well, because if you're not feeling good, you have to motivate yourself. Yeah. And it's hard to motivate yourself when you're not feeling good. Yeah. So,
but that comes with any self-employed job, really. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's kind of standard.
Other pros we get, I love going to like fun events. I love meeting people who
new people
do this sort of thing as well. It allows me to travel when I want. I love that part of it.
Experiences and opportunities that you would never do if it wasn't for doing social media. Even like I was talking at the start of this podcast about bringing out that collab with Bella Mianta, doing a masterclass in Sculpted by Amy. Like even if I continued as my career as being a makeup artist, chances are I would still never get to do that. Yeah, which is crazy. And it's social media has brought me that opportunity.
100%.
It's crazy.
It does. It gives you lots of opportunities. And like if anyone's ever listening and they want to start social media and you feel like you'd love it, fucking do it. Especially I feel like if you have something you're passionate about to talk about as well, because I feel like people who they're passionate about something, if they have something to talk about, then they'll do well in it. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. Okay, one more then. If you could influence your audience to do a certain thing or live a certain way, what would it be?
Be your authentic self.
Mine would be like not to influence you to live any other way than what you want, the way you want to live.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Literally be the person you want to be. I think the word influencer, it's so broad because like I get it, like you're influencing people, say, to buy products or try something or do something. I always say I want to influence people in a positive way. I was talking yesterday, like if I can influence you to do something as a form of self-care, to maybe start volunteering, like just helping people. So I do like to try to use the platform I have to slightly influence people in that way. And I like recommending products and stuff like that. But I would never want to influence someone to change the way they are, like as a person, if they want to be a certain way.
No, never. What I want to do is I want to influence people to be their authentic selves and to not care what people think, to not hold yourself back because of what other people's views may be, or to stop yourself from doing the things that you want to do because of others. Like just do what you want to do for you. And like if that version of you right now is to go to Ibiza and go a little bit crazy, do it, because you all the different versions like I do, and I am tapping into that, but I don't want to also influence you to go to Ibiza and go crazy if you don't want to. But I don't know, I would just say to people just to be their authentic selves and try not to let other people perceptions of things stop you.
What does it actually mean when influencers say they have worked on themselves? I actually think that's a really good question, because I use this term all the time.
So do I.
And I just assume that people get it. We kind of touched on it before on our episode about like self-love. Yeah. About what it means to work on yourself and creating self-love. Yeah. But I get how it can be confusing, because it's like, oh, I worked on myself. Well, what did you do? Like, did you get a hammer? And
true,
do you know what I mean?
100%. Like, because
it's actually a very good question.
Because I speak about working on myself, but I say it because when I was working on myself, I was surrounded by everyone else who's working on themselves. People. So it was just like a common phrase. But then I think back to maybe Cahir, who had never travelled or had never worked on themselves. Would I know that? I mean, I'm not sure if I would have. Like, I'm probably like, what does that mean? So I might give this a wee kickstart. Yeah. Worked on myself. I've done so much things to work on myself throughout the years to help me gain more self-awareness, to gain more compassion, love for myself, to maybe ease off the negative self-talk that my brain may have forced me to be in this negative wee headspace for a lot of my life. I've definitely done many different things. So I started off maybe with like a bit of therapy. Therapy didn't work really that well at the start, so I just went traveling. Going traveling, it was the start of my working on myself journey, because it allowed me to be around more like-minded people with less judgment, which allowed me then to be more authentically myself, which definitely gave me a lot more happiness, because I was expressing myself more myself. So that was definitely the start of it.
And you're learning more about yourself when you're traveling. That's part of working in yourself.
100%.
When you say, every time I say work on yourself now, I'm like, it is actually such a broad thing, but
It
like
is, yeah.
it's all things intertwined.
It's all, look, it's a whole journey, like a whole journey. But then when I was traveling, I just started dabbling in all the things that you could do to work on yourself. So I went to like breathwork classes or yoga classes or sound healing things. I would have spoke to different like therapists, and I definitely did a therapy for a bit. I done a lot of plant medicine ceremonies, so that was definitely a big part of my journey. So I've done like ayahuasca and things like that there, which is like obviously things you don't mess with, but if you feel called to do it, then I would definitely suggest it.
And I think it's a phrase that's like, oh, I worked on myself. It's not just like sitting down. It's a gradual thing, like you said. It's a journey.
It's a journey. It's never going to end. Like right now,
you're always working on yourself.
It's like a roller coaster. Like it's up and down and up and down. Like I've went through phases where I'm like proper working on myself, and then I'm phases where I'm just enjoying life and I'm not really thinking about that. Right now, this exact moment, I have work to do on myself. I need to work on myself to get back on track.
I always use this as an example. So I'm such an overthinker, and a way I like to like work on myself is changing my overthinking skills by, so if I have a really negative thought, a lot of people's like, just don't think about it, push it out of your head, blah blah blah. I think that's the worst advice ever for me personally, to just like push something out of your head and forget about it. I let myself overthink and try and change the thoughts into a more positive thought. Yeah. So even if I'm like really down on myself, like now I say, if I'm just not having a good day, I feel really shit, and I'll sit and think about it, and I'll sit and think like, oh my goodness, like what am I going to do to change it? I will let that sit with me and like proper deep it nearly and try and turn it into a more positive thought. And it's like, right, well, you're feeling really down now, but how good is this? Because you're going to be able to make yourself feel so much better by doing some self-care, by maybe going to Pilates, having a day out with your friends. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, this is really bad, you're feeling really shit right now, but sit with it, let yourself feel shit, and figure out how you're going to fix it. That's all part of working on yourself, because you've then fixed that thing in your brain, that is that negative thought in your brain. You've actually fixed it.
Automatic negative thoughts, you cut the cycle of it.
It's not that you're pushing it out of your head, you're actually going in and working on it and fixing it and making yourself feel better. And I feel like the more times you do things like that, then the less negative thoughts you have, and you can handle things better.
100%. And it's good to speak to people about your negative thoughts too, so then you can get a better understanding of it and a different perception on it too. And like working on yourself doesn't necessarily have to be like going deep and doing all these like ceremonies and therapy.
Not
and
at
all
all.
there. Working on yourself could literally be journaling, or like going for a walk in nature to raise your vibrations,
music,
going to the gym, having a bit of exercise,
having time with yourself and your own thoughts,
doing things that raises those vibes and like gives you nice wee chemicals in your brain. That's working on yourself as well. So
good question, very good question. Here's a long one. Okay, hi Kegs and Shannon, greetings from the USA.
Oh, hello USA people.
Oh my god. Find the podcast through TikTok and love it. This is class. Obviously they've asked to keep it anonymous. Obviously we will be. I'm getting the absolute worst mixed signals off a fella. A few months back I asked if he wanted to get some drinks and a bite to eat, and he jumped straight to that I'm not looking for a relationship, sorry, and so on, and nothing happened. I'm so DL that I was taken back. He even thought that, LOL. Fast forward a few months, we've gone away for a night, went out for a few meals, have another 2 night stay booked, and we snap daily. He's gorgeous and we get on so well, considering we spent a night away barely knowing each other. The night was great. He's not long out of a 4-year relationship, so I get that, but I'm so confused by it all. I'd love to commit and be long term, but I'm not sure he's ready right now. I can like fully speak on this. So me and my now boyfriend Kieran, we did the whole I'm not looking for anything serious for such a long time. Like the only reason that it was fine that it actually went on so long, because we were kind of both on the same page. So that's when people's like, don't get it, don't leave it. If he's not ready for a relationship, you're going to get hurt and stuff. I kind of think sometimes like you can maybe hold out a bit, because we were both on the same page, so it's slightly different. But I remember New Year's Eve, us sitting down with each other after we'd been on like dates, friendship dates, whatever you want to call it, and being like, yeah, like we're not looking for anything serious. Like he was moving to Australia. Do you know what I mean? Like that's how much we weren't looking for anything serious. Yeah. And we were like, yeah, same page, blah, blah, blah. And then because we were just like, we were obviously going on all these dates and spending more and more time together, feelings were getting stronger. And I'll never forget the time we'd went on holiday together, and then that Kieran told me he loved me, and I was like, oh shit, we've took this too far. So like, I get that people, whenever someone has mentioned like they don't want to commit to anything, people are like, oh my goodness, stay away from them, blah blah blah, but we did that and we've worked out just fine.
Yeah.
So I'm here to tell you, like, although proceed with caution, sometimes it can work out, but I do think that if you're maybe wanting something serious, you need to be honest and upfront and explain this to him, because then if he's not comfortable with proceed, maybe give him a bit of time, take a step back, and maybe relook at things in like a year's time or something.
Yeah, because that's, I think, with my view on it, obviously you're different, but I think you're on the same page.
Yeah.
The last guy that I was seeing, you know, all the crack, but it started off like we were just like casual, whatever, and then I started thinking, I get a wee bit obsessed. I think it might have something to do with ADHD, but I get obsessed fast if I like someone. And I was like, oh my God, this is like going to be my husband. Like I was literally like this is my man. And then we spent a lot of time together, went on holidays together and stuff. And when we went on holidays, he took a big step back because he was like, oh, actually, I don't want anything serious right now. And then
so you nearly don't want to scare someone away, kind of thing.
You don't want to scare someone away, but also you kind of have to be on the same page. Like if you want something and he doesn't, then you aren't on the same path right now. It might be in the future, who knows?
But it could be that he's maybe feeling the same as you, but he in himself doesn't want to commit because he's afraid, because he's only out of that relationship.
Yeah.
And it could be that he ends up that he does want to be with you. Do you know what I mean? But I do think proceed with caution. Proceed with caution.
If you're going on holidays together, if you spend a lot of time there, you obviously get on well. Like, holidays are big testers. But like,
just don't let yourself get hurt. Make sure you put your feelings across. If you
it's
start
easier
feeling
said than done.
Easier said than done. It really is.
Oh,
but
I'm a sucker for love. I get obsessed and then get my heart hurt.
Yeah. Stay positive. Proceed with caution. And fingers crossed it all works out.
Let us know how you get on.
Yeah.
So
we're going to call it quits.
We're going to call it quits on this week. We've got a few more dilemmas, but we're going to do it on the next episode, which we're recording now because we're doing it a week in advance.
We've got guests coming.
We guests.
So yeah, we'll see you next week. We're not going to do a extra one this week because we are so flipping busy.
Yeah, so much going on. But yeah, if you like this episode and you like what we do, make sure to follow, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. And yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Also, can I just say, hopefully this week I've tried really hard. Last week's episode, I did notice I was far too far away from the mic and it was cutting off in stages. Really, really sorry. We have such good quality mics. We're so lucky. But I think I get a bit carried away and move about too much. So hopefully you can hear me this week.
Bobblehead. Oh my God, that's a hate comment I used to get all the time. People used to call me a bobblehead. My head used to move so much when I was talking on my phone. I just get in my head.
Okay, we're going to go.
We're going to leave you. Bye. Love you. Bye.